My name is Rebecca Moore, and for 27 years I loved a man named Thomas with every part of my heart. I cared for him through cancer, through surgeries, through the nights he was too weak to stand on his own. And somehow, after all of that, his son still looked me in the eyes after the funeral and said, "You don't belong in this family anymore." I wish I could say that sentence was the worst part, but the truth is, it was only the beginning. Before I tell you how my late husband's son tried to force me out of the home Thomas and I built together, make sure to subscribe. Because sometimes the ugliest fights happen after someone dies. Thomas and I met later in life. I was 38. He was 46. Recently divorced with one teenage son named Eric. From the beginning, Eric hated me. Not openly at first. Just small things. Cold silences. Sarcastic comments. The constant feeling that I was an intruder in his father's life. I tried everything. Birthday gifts. Family dinners. School events. But Eric never accepted me. Over the years, the tension became quieter but never disappeared. When Eric left for college, contact with Thomas became increasingly distant. Phone calls grew shorter. Visits became rare. Sometimes entire holidays passed without hearing from him. Still, Thomas never stopped loving his son. "He'll come around eventually," he used to tell me. I wanted to believe him. Then Thomas got sick. Stage 4 lung cancer. Aggressive. Fast, cruel. For nearly 2 years, I became his full-time caregiver. I managed medications, changed bandages, helped him eat when treatments destroyed his appetite, held him during nights when pain kept him awake until sunrise. Eric visited exactly 4 times. 4. The final month of Thomas's life, Eric suddenly became more involved. At first, I thought grief had softened him. Then I noticed the questions. Questions about wills, insurance, property ownership, retirement accounts. One afternoon, while Thomas slept upstairs, Eric casually asked, "So whose name is actually on the house?" Something about his tone unsettled me. Not sadness. Calculation. Thomas passed away peacefully 3 weeks later. I held his hand until the very end. His final words to me were, "Don't let anyone take your home away." At the time, I didn't fully understand why he said it. I understood after the funeral. The house was still filled with flowers and sympathy cards when Eric cornered me in the kitchen. "You should probably start looking for an apartment," he said casually. I genuinely thought I misunderstood him. "What?" "The house," he replied impatiently. "Dad would have wanted it kept in the family." I stared at him. "I am family." His expression hardened instantly. "You were his second wife." The cruelty of those words hit harder than I expected. Especially after sacrificing years caring for his dying father. I quietly informed Eric that Thomas had updated his estate years earlier. The house legally belonged to me. Eric's face changed immediately. Shock. Then anger. Then something uglier. Over the next several days, Eric became openly aggressive. He accused me of manipulating Thomas, claimed I isolated him from family, suggested I pressured Thomas into changing legal documents while sick. Then one morning I discovered something horrifying. A real estate photographer taking pictures of my house. My house. Eric had secretly contacted an agent and discussed listing the property. Without permission. That afternoon he arrived with paperwork. "You should just sign voluntarily," he said. "It'll save everyone stress." Stress. As if I wasn't still sleeping in the same bed where my husband died. I refused immediately. That's when the threats began. Legal action. Publique accusation. Contesting the will. And worst of all, Eric started telling relatives I manipulated a dying man for money. Some family members actually believed him. Grief already isolates you. False accusations make it unbearable. Thankfully, Thomas had prepared carefully. His attorney possessed medical evaluations confirming mental competence, witnesses, signed documents, everything. But then came the moment that truly shocked me. My attorney discovered Eric had attempted to forge property transfer documents, forge them, his own father's estate. I remember sitting in the attorney's office physically shaking, not from fear, from disbelief. How had grief turned into greed this quickly? Or maybe greed had always been there. The confrontation happened one rainy Thursday afternoon. Eric arrived expecting compromise. Instead, my attorney placed the forged documents on the table. The room went silent. Eric tried denying everything, then blamed stress, then grief. Finally, he exploded. "You got everything," he shouted. "You got his house, his money, his attention." And suddenly I understood. This was never really about property. It was about resentment. Years of resentment. Toward me. Toward his father. Toward life itself. I looked at him quietly. Your father loved you, I said. Eric laughed bitterly. Not enough. That sentence broke my heart more than anything else. Because beneath all the greed was still a wounded little boy who never processed his parents' divorce properly. The legal battle ended quickly after the forgery evidence surfaced. Eric backed down completely. But our relationship never recovered. We haven't spoken in over 4 years. Sometimes people ask if I hate him. Honestly, no, I pity him. Because greed consumed the last chance he had to honor his father's memory with dignity. Today, I still live in the same house Thomas and I shared. His coffee mug still sits beside the sink. His favorite chair still faces the window. And every evening, I water the garden he planted during his first remission. Before he died, Thomas once told me, "The people who truly love you never make you prove you belong." Now I finally understand what he meant. Have you ever experienced conflict over inheritance or family property? Tell me in the comments below. And if this story touched you, don't forget to like and subscribe. Because sometimes death doesn't reveal character. It exposes what was hidden all along.